Good morning, YouTubers and Facebookers. This morning I showing you some electronics. I first of all stripped out of old electronics. I'm reusing them for all my AC low voltage transformers I have to start lighting up accessories, lights mostly, sorry, on the layout. I placed some lights yesterday. As some of you know, I'm working on my container yard annex freight yard. So I'll start swapping the camera now. So here is the freight yard, or the container yard. So I put those lights in yesterday. I'm still working on weathering and extending the concrete, what it has to be. There's a light here. I just finished yesterday this. I just have to paint that one. The transfer from oats from the plant to the other side of the layout, where they can supply the second main. As you can see, there's an insulation there too to unload. That has lights on the bottom here, all LED. I showed that in another video and pictures on Facebook in the groups. This one is a tower, as you can see, with a red flicker LED. That all has to be hooked up. I hope to do some of it today. And that locomotive shed there with the one go through, with the pass through, has LEDs too. On the roof, I made a whole roof construction and the LEDs on it. It's probably going to be a double pole, double throw toggle switch, because I can put the lighting on or I can put the work lights on. I have to decide that once I go under the table and do the wiring. The electronics, this rat's nest as it was, is a little bit more organized now. And this is all AC transformers. They all come out of old electronic equipment, and they're perfectly good. I tested them with my meter, and it's all AC though. So it's all AC coming out. As you can see, the different color combinations coming out gives me different voltages, which is very handy. So the 17 volt I'm probably going to use for switching. I don't even have to change it. Those spools, switch spools from the switches or the turnouts or whatever you call them, they run on AC too, so I don't need to do nothing about that. I have two of them, 17 volts, so I'll use them not to overload the transformers. As you can imagine, there is quite the switches here in this layout, and that's why it's not ballasted either, because I still have to drill holes. And don't forget, guys, this is a hobby for me. I don't want to do every day coming down here, or not every day, but I don't want to come down here and say, oh, I have to do the rest of the switches. That is just taking the fun away. So I'm just waiting with ballasting till I'm ready. In this section here, I'm going to drill. Some of them are by hand, mostly in the front and in the back there. What's bordering the main siding, they will be all electronic. And I'll do that whenever I feel like it. Even if I just drill the holes and put the wiring through, I don't have to do it right away connecting to the control panel. So back to this. So the old electronics. As you can see, the LED is burning here, but I would like to take you to the previous step first. So here on my workbench, maybe some of you guys remember this one I made with a dimmer. I just dimmed the 120 side, not the 12 volt side. That is AC DC with a double throw, double pole switch and a neutral. You don't need a neutral, you can just go from AC to DC, but that is up to you. There is a schematic on Facebook too for that if you want it. You just have to go to my group and find it. So this is the old electronics. Most of them, the transformers, are already in that control panel you just seen. What I did yesterday is I sorted all the diodes out. I need to make a bridge rectifier. The regulation, the volt regulators are out of here too. I took them out too. See, I left them with the circuit board so I know the voltage. And I use actually the same capacitors and the resistors if I need them, what comes off that circuit board, because that works great. Why change it, right? So here too, that's why it's on. It might look a little bit messy, but it just worked for me. So however you're going to do it, I leave that up to you. So here's the same thing, the diodes. This is an 5 volt, the 7800 series. They have 78.5, 7805, 7812. I think there's different ones, but I used mostly 5 and 12. With the 5 you can actually charge your cell phone too, because this really straightens out the power. So if you see my schematic before, but I'll let you know. I'll let you see again. So this is the diodes. Then the capacitor that filters it, and then the 7805 in this case for the 5 volt DC output that really regulates it. That really, as you can see on the lines here, that really makes it flat, 5 volt. So you could use a cell phone on that. Same here with this computer power supply. I put USBs in because the 5 voltage is really nice and steady and regulated. So now back to my little project here. Oh, don't forget my coffee. So this one I ordered this one on AliExpress. This is a 12 volt DC 8 amp. So that is really for the heavy guys I have on my layout, mainly motors. And the rest is all, this is all AC. So what I did this morning, or just now, I hope you can see it. This is an 7812. Here is the diodes. Well, you can see it burning. Of course, the wires are just loose in here. This is a 12 volt setup, but I put it in 975 volts. What happens is if you go from AC to DC, it will up the volts a little bit. Don't ask me why, that's just the way it happens. The capacitor is a 1000 microfarad 16 volt, and you can see the 4 diodes. I saw it in the direction you should do that. That's on the schematic I just showed you. And that makes AC, DC. Simple as that. The capacitor is to smooth it out a bit. And then the voltage regulator really makes it a nice, in this case, 9.75 volt. Or in DC probably 10. I can measure it, but I really don't care. It stays on the 12 volt. So my LED will live longer to begin with. So this is from Old Electronics. I have to hook it up to 975 volts AC, and it's probably about 10.5 volt DC. So yeah, I kind of do it this way because we throw a lot of electronics out, and instead of buying fancy stuff from online, from AliExpress and whatever, I just ordered this one because it's 8 amps. I like that part. The rest is all 2-3 amps. I measured it with my meter. I didn't write it down, but I know it. And it's good enough for LED lighting, etc. The 17 volts, there's 2, the orange ones. AC, I might just use it. I might not even put a bridge rectifier in between. By the way, the bridge rectifiers, you can buy them too. You can buy them with four poles coming out, 2 ACs and a plus and a minus. I make them myself because I have all the parts just with 4 diodes. And it's not warm. It's not warm at all. And if you put a capacitor in what comes off that circuit board with the volt regulator, then you're good. You're good to go. Unless you really start drawing amps, then you gotta watch. But LED lighting, even a switch, unless you switch constantly, but even a shock for a switch, it doesn't really matter. Back to why I do this. I have it all here. I get all the electronics from family. Sometimes I find it outside or people throw it out. Now they know I use it. Some people bring it to me. I strip it out of there and I reuse it. Of course I test it first. I do the ohm test on it, the continuity test, that it works, otherwise there is no point. But here in my layout, it doesn't really wear. It has barely anything to pull. So that's why I'm doing that. First of all, it's very budget friendly. Not so much stuff to the dump. And well, it makes it cheaper for me. Oh, the light went out because it's not wired. It's just, I just have to push it against it. See, the light goes out. And there it is again. I don't have it screw nailed in. This is just to show you guys. Oh, it's loose again. There we go again. Anyways, that's why I do this, and it's well, it's expensive enough. I run DC, by the way. I do not run DCC. I might later on look into DCC EX. I will start doing Arduino, so I'm not leery of it. I just find this nicer. I like it better to fight around with the DC, with the old block system. And I hear people, the sounds, and you can run several locomotives on one track. Well, I might be able to, with the switching, might be able to reverse the polarity of one switcher, so I can move back and forth with 2 different switches. But what's the point? For me, anyways. I respect DCC people. That's all good with me. It's not simply not for me yet. Let me put it that way. And if I do it, it's going to be DCC EX, because I refuse to pay thousands of dollars for that stuff. I'd rather buy trains. So yeah, and then here too, there's an I made an discotheque here that is out of my youth. That has to be hooked up. It is lit up with flickering lights and color lights and all that good stuff. Most of it. Here the chimney is lit up. There's an LED in there with the oven. I just have to, I'll show you. See, I just have to connect it all. And I'm in the phase now that I would like to connect these lights. They're all drilled through and the wiring is all there. They just have to be hooked up. So that's all going to happen on what I just showed you in my control panel. Just with a flick of the switch. That's it. Because sometimes, like when I have the ceiling lights on, that is just, that is by the way LED too, bright LEDs. I just glued several strips on. It's bright enough for me, so if I turn that off, then I can switch all my lights on, and that is just neat. So yeah guys, that is a little bit about the electronics, why I do it, and it's very affordable. So I would like to thank you for your attention, and I'll be back with you when I have some lights hooked up and show you with the switch how that works. Thank you for watching, and see you the next time, hopefully. Bye bye.